Well, y'all warmed up and ready to go? Yes, sir. Y'all ready for some football? Yes, sir. 100% effort. All right, let's go. Here we go. Work hard on three. 1, 2, 3. Work hard! So you get better. Get a little bend. There you go. Bend your knees a little bit. We're at V7 Elite Playmaker Showcase Series for the middle school. We've been to Nashville, Tennessee. We've been to Dallas, Texas, this weekend, Atlanta, Georgia. Nice route, nice route. That's execution at its finest. Great job.
Guys that have been through, some of the things that you've been through. Some guys go to the league office. Yeah. Some guys go to the team that they gravitate to the most. You chose these kids.
Yeah.
Why?
I chose to work with kids. I feel like it's all about the next generation. Listen, y'all should either be on one knee or standing up. You can be a football player, you can be a football player at all times.
Mike Vick is out here. He's not just out there just signing autographs. He's actually participating with the guys, so it's very good. We need more athletes, as a stature to come back.
I know they're dreaming the dream right now as young kids, and that's great, but they also have to know what happens in between. And in order to be, I think the best football player that they can be, or the best individual, or the best man that they can be, it has to come from some other form of guidance. If I would have had this at a young age, I would have been 10 times better than what I was.
Where did you get the passion for the game from?
I credit my grandmother. When I was 6 years old, I grew up watching the Redskins, and I wanted to be a Redskin. I wanted to play in the National Football League. I was dreaming, and I just thought it was a calling in my life.
Touchdown, check, Michael Vick.
Best offense in the country, baby. We on our way.
The most amazing talent I've ever seen. How quick he got rid of the ball, and then his ability to keep a play alive.
Turning on the Jets, look at that speed! He's racing all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Tech! They couldn't catch him. Michael Vick.
Everything that we did was catered towards what I could do. We didn't throw it as much, but I was efficient. I led the nation in passing efficiency as well.
Touchdown, Tech! Oh, what a throw by Vick.
Whenever Michael Vick was on the field, the team was in scoring position. You had the feeling that the next snap, something exciting was going to happen and the band was going to play.
Revolutionized the position. I can still remember the first time I ever saw him play on television. I really thought he was from another planet.
Goes airborne into the end zone. Touchdown, Tech. A sensational flip by Vick.
I looked up to him before I even played football, just watching him play at Virginia Tech. I can be right there in front of him, he still make a mess. He's the best player I ever seen play.
You finished third on the Heisman. Were you the best player in the country?
Yes, I will say I was the best player in the country that year. I probably didn't win the Heisman because I was a freshman. If you go back and watch what I did, it's something that you probably have never seen before.
Coach Bowden was the established, legendary head coach of the Noles. They had been the #1 team in the preseason. They were at the height of the Seminole dynasty.
I think our approach was that we were playing off house money, we made it. Nobody expected us to. Let's go out and show the world that we can compete.
It got ugly early, Mike.
Yeah.
14 zip.
Yeah.
Did you feel the pressure to have to deliver in front of the nation?
Florida State, so everybody expected them to be up 14-0. So before the end of halftime, it may have been 28-7, and you just got it. It's an uphill battle from there.
He's run the option to the right. Michael Vick peeping. He sprints right, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Tech! Michael Vick!
He had this special ingredient. Bigger the stage, the bigger he played.
Vick rolling right now, runs with the football. Vick in open field at the 40. Down the left sideline, 30.
In those moments, you don't really think about what you're doing. You're just doing it. I was just doing what I always did in the backyard. I'm just doing it in front of a broader audience so people can see it. Now it's showcased. And I still can't believe, or fathom, the fact that we came back and took the lead 29-28.
Bobbles it up in the air, and then he called it in for the touchdown. That's one of the greatest plays I've ever seen.
Virginia Tech was good enough to win the game. You just kind of left there thinking, man, what if, what if? I can remember after the game, Bobby Bowden, he kept talking about, we just couldn't tackle that boy, you know, and that voice of his. We couldn't tackle that boy.
After that Sugar Bowl game, everyone knew Virginia Tech. A football fan in the country knew Michael Vick.
They'd gone to the Super Bowl in '98, and they wanted something to kind of rattle the cages of the fan base. And here comes this dynamic young guy. The city was abuzz with Michael come to town.
I mean, everybody who was my age watching him at that time was basically mesmerized with his ability. Nobody could touch him on the field. I mean, just running away from everyone.
Best moment you ever had as a Falcon on the football field?
I think the best moment I ever had was when we beat Green Bay, because we knew we had did something that had never been done in history. And the score was 27-7. We beat them good, and it was just too much for him.
In '04, he guides the Falcons to the NFC Championship game. He rushed for over 1,000 yards in a season as a quarterback. That had never been done before. I think there were a number of moments that were high for him. Unfortunately, everybody's going to remember what happened to him in the '07 year.
Authorities today returned to a Surrey County, Virginia home owned by Atlanta Falcon quarterback Michael Vick. They were accompanied by animal control officers. The home was initially raided earlier this week as part of a drug investigation, but they found 80 dogs in an elaborate network of dog cages in the buildings. Now it's a dog fighting probe.
I think we all wrestle internally when our heroes fail, regardless of who they are. For many people, it's their parents or their grandparents. For a lot of people, it's a sports hero, and for a lot of people, it was Mike Vick.
Michael Vick. He's been sitting at a Virginia jail knowing that more time is coming, and today he found out how much. A judge slapped Vick with a 23-month sentence for his part in an illegal dog-fighting conspiracy.
The city, it might have crushed the city as much as it crushed the team, because he was a superstar. They loved the guy. It was almost like a death in the family.
I accept the responsibility for my actions and what I did, and now I have to pay the consequences for it.
The idea that I was sitting down with a guy each and every week, doing this and really being able to rationalize it in his own mind, stunning. Couldn't believe, after I got the reports of what all had gone on and what he had actually participated in, mortified. I'm a dog owner, as I think a lot of us are, and so yeah, just stunned that he could be a part of that.
What hurt the most in those low points?
For anybody, it's losing your freedom. People don't understand what it's like to be behind bars, and they should never want to experience it. But low points, in terms of that stature, is different. It's a very different and difficult circumstance. So it's hard to describe. You got to live it. And then that was one of those moments where I lived it, and I lived it for a long time.
Now, pretty much everyone knows by now that Michael Vick is back home in Hampton and begins serving 2 months of home confinement after being released from prison.
I will redeem myself. I have to.
It's almost impossible to paint one person with a single stroke of a paintbrush. It's almost impossible because we're all multicolored and there's a full palette for each of us. Mike's got a lot of colors on his palette. A lot of vibrant colors and maybe some colors that aren't so pretty, but I'm proud of the way he's come back from this.
The humility that it takes to get back up, where'd you draw that from? How do you explain that?
I think it comes from the people that I surrounded myself with the second time around. They helped me become the person that I have become to this day. I deeply regret my previous involvement in dogfighting. I'm sorry for what I did to the animals. During my time in prison, I told myself that I wanted to be a part of the solution and not the problem. I've been speaking to kids and urging them to be responsible and to be good to animals.
I think he's going to be the best he can be and try to make amends for what went wrong. He wants to make sure people don't go down the same path that he went down.
Let's make that a common goal. Let's try to get everybody on the honor roll. School first, football second. Keep that mindset.
We've all made mistakes, some bigger than others, and there's a price for those mistakes. And you know, the measure of a person is how they own those things, and pay their debt, and then try their best to make amends and move forward. And in my mind, he's done that.
Everything that you want is right there in front of you. And I know where y'all want to go. As time went on, I really started to understand what life was about. I get it. I understand it. This is the person that I want to become. If I can help make a difference or be an instrument of change, then this is what it's going to be.
That's what I'm talking about.
What's up to you people in the,
we love
in the ATL?
There'll be fans of Michael Vick regardless. There's still people that wear 7 jerseys to the Dome. They still love Mike in Atlanta. But I think there'll be more people move off of that, anti-Michael Vick scenario, but there's still going to be those that are just not going to forgive him for what happened. And I think to a certain extent he's come to some resolve there within his own mind that that's okay. I know I did a bad thing and I hurt some people in various ways, and he's okay with that. And I think he's very comfortable with who he is now.